Hi guys and welcome to my channel. Today I am bringing you 10 budget-friendly Easter DIYs. These are very easy to make. It can be made out of dollar store supplies or supplies lying around your house. This is a compilation of the videos that I have created before, so some of it might be a little bit out of sorts, more of the things that I'm saying rather than the DIYs themselves, but I hope you enjoy them. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed. This project, I am using this piece of wood that's 1 by 10 by 6. And I am using these foam bunnies, some Chateau gray paint, it's any Sloan chalk paint, and my old white. So I don't quite have enough of these, so I'm going to make some more. So I'm going to take my any Sloan white and I'm going to just paint an area where this bunny would go. Okay, so I have the 3 areas. You can see the third one. And now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use the same brush. I just brushed off some of the stuff, and I'm gonna put my painter's tape. So I'm gonna let this dry. And the next thing that I'm going to do once it's dried is apply this black wax to the board, and I'm gonna apply generous amount with a rag. Next thing that I do is I take the bunnies off. You don't have to wait for the wax to dry because it's fairly dry. And I just take a rag and brush out any clumps around the bunnies that might have been there. For lettering, I use white acrylic paint and a flat brush. You can really use any brush that works for you. I just prefer a flat brush. So for this DIY, I will be using this piece of wood that I found in a garage. And it's 2 by 6 by 8 in length. And I'm going to cut it into 3 different sizes. I'm not measuring it, I just want 3 different sizes. So here are the pieces that I cut up, and there are 3 different sizes, which is what I wanted. And I'm going to give the edges some sanding just so they're not so sharp and I don't get splinters. Just a rough sanding. So I'm using white, old white from Annie Sloan. Tell you, this paint has gone so far. And I'm just going to give it like a very dry brush. Okay, so I'm gonna let those dry. Now for these bunnies, to finish them off. So I'm using some of these wood shapes, and I just need 3 hearts. I also need some paint. I would preferably like soft pink, but I don't have any soft pink, so I'm going to add some Tutti Frutti pink and some white. And this will give me a softer pink. And then I also need some paint brushes and some permanent markers. I'm gonna take some wood glue. Not too much because you don't want it to come out. Put it right in the middle. Gonna take a brush and I'm just gonna lightly dip it into that pink paint. So this guy is done for now. Now I'm gonna move on to this guy. Same thing. I think they're cute. I'm just gonna go find some ribbon for them now. So I only found some of this blue ribbon. So I'm taking the leftover pieces of burlap and just cutting them up and see what I can do with them. If you know how to tie bows, you probably don't need to do this. I think I'm going to hot glue this here like that. They're done. I think they're super cute. Great addition to my front porch because that's where they're gonna be going. So I hope you enjoyed this quick and easy DIY. A video with 2 different DIYs, and until next time, hope you guys have a wonderful day, and thank you so much for watching. For this project, you will need a piece of wood. It really doesn't matter the thickness or the size, any scrap of wood. You want it to be about this width, but the thickness of it, it doesn't matter. Some orange paint, some onion grass from Dollar Tree, paintbrush, and a marker, and then I think it's a chisel, which I'm gonna go see if I have it. If not, I'll try and do it with an X-Acto knife, but we'll see. And then I'm going to cut this, so I will use a table saw for that, and a drill to make a hole on top of each piece of wood. that's probably, you might not even need a drill. I just want to make a little hole so I can stick some grass and a hot glue. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is I am just going to mark off where I want it cut, and then and I kind of want the carrots to be, so I'm making carrots kind of different size, each of them. So, and then I'm going to just find a middle, which I need a ruler for that. So it is, just gonna find a middle, so it's actually 6 centimeters, and then the middle is 3. And then I'm just going to cut it on an angle. So I had cut them up, and I'm going to give them a coat of paint. As you can see, I did give them a little hole there. And I'm going to be just applying the one coat because I like how earthy they look, and I think carrots do look earthy. So I'm going to paint all of them. I'm not going to bore you with painting all of them. I am just going to try and make some dents in on them a little bit. Just a little. Okay, so I did it on both sides, and I'm going to take my black marker and just fill in. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to give it a quick sanding just to soften the look up a little bit. And I'm just using the little sanding sheets that I got at Dollar Tree. So see, just to compare, they're a lot lighter. It's just such an easy no spend for me DIY. And I'm going to cut some of this so I can put it for the top. And I can't find my scissors. Okay, so the one is done. I'm going to repeat the same thing for the other ones. So for this DIY, you need some fern. I think these are, it's called assorted foliage, but they look like ferns. What I'm making is napkin holders for Easter. So I'm making 6 of them. So you would need 12 of these leaves. So I have 2, which gives me 12. And they were from Dollarama at $1.25. Then I also picked up, I just really needed these mini eggs, and I couldn't find them in any other, anywhere else that was this many for $1.50. So I just picked this up, and I'm going to paint them. And I picked this up at Dollarama as well. And then I have picked these little nests from Michael's, and they were $3.50. Now Michael's had a special on where if you ordered it online and picked it up in store, they give you extra 30% off. So I had picked up 5 of them at 30% off. And let me just look at the receipt. So instead of $17.50, I paid $12.25 for 5 of them. And then when I was there, I did check to make sure that they had it, because I'm a little bit like that. I picked one up at 40% off. So I paid $2.10 for that one. So I paid altogether just under $15 versus it would have cost me $21. So I saved about $6 by doing it this way. So, but I could not find the little nests anywhere else. And then I'm just going to use some sky blue acrylic paint, and I'm pretty sure this one is from Dollar Tree, and then some white acrylic paint, and this one is from Dollarama. I did not buy these for this project. I had these on hand, and I'm still debating whether I will use the brown one. I haven't decided. And then you just need a little paint containers, and these are from Play-Doh, just so I can dip my eggs in. So I didn't want it something that was wide because I needed to fill it up with paint a little bit easier, so I can just dip the eggs in. So that is the first thing I'm going to do, is I'm going to plug my hot glue gun in and paint my eggs. I'm also using some wire cutters. I'm going to take these apart, and I was going to look for toothpicks to put the eggs on for dipping, but then I figured I'm just going to leave them on the wires that they are on. And I'm going to use about 3 per nest. And I like these leaves, so I will save these for a different project. I'm going to use a foam just to stick them in to dry. When they're done, I'm just going to grab another white paint. All of my white paints are almost empty, so I'm just going to take my eggs and swirl them in here. And I'm going to speckle it. Okay, I'm going to let this dry now, and I'm going to assemble my little leaves. So I'm going to move these. I'll let them dry. And I'm going to assemble all of them like that. And I'm going to show you what I'm going to use for the ring part, because I forgot to talk about that. So here they are all assembled. And, well, not completely. And for the ring part, I am going to be using these. And I'm just going to fold them and leave them open, and then just once I have, or I can even tie them up like that, because you can adjust them to the size of the napkin ring. So I'm going to add a little bit of glue, hold that in place, and do it for the rest of them. So now I'm going to let those dry, and I'm going to wait for my eggs to dry to finish it off. So my eggs have dried, and I'm going to snip them off the little things and hot glue them to the little nests. So now that they're all cut, I'm going to take probably 2 white ones and 1 blue one and glue them inside of my nest. There we go. And I'm going to do that to the rest of them. So for my next project, you need one of these boards, but all you're going to use from the board are these feet. Then another board, and from this one you're going to use the face. Well, you're going to use the whole body pretty much, except this Happy Easter. Some paint stir sticks, which came free from Home Depot. The 2 signs were from Dollar Tree at $1.25. And then you need assorted colors, paint colors. I have yellow, purple, pink, leafy green, blue, and white. And then of course you need paintbrushes, some hot glue, and something to cut these off. So I've got several things to try. I have my craft knife, I have my X-Acto knife, I have my garden shears I'm gonna see, and then you also need some sandpaper. So first thing is I'm going to remove this stuff as gently as I can without actually completely peeling the paint off. So might use that for something else. Might have to touch that up with paint. So then some sandpaper, I'm just going to sand some of this glitter off. Now I'm going to try and see if I can cut the arms off. This part was pretty easy. Now you don't want to throw the arms out, you will be reusing them. Now I'm going to measure out my stir sticks. Okay, and I'm going to trace them. So I'm going to cut them now. Try and cut them. So I'm just going to number them just so I know. Now the key is how easily this will be to cut. Put safety glasses that I melted with my hot glue gun. Okay, so this wasn't too bad. This piece actually cut pretty nice considering I thought I was using that piece. So that goes there. And I'm gonna move on and cut all the rest of them the same way. So cutting these went a lot easier than I had anticipated. So I am going to be hot gluing them now onto here. And they fit perfect. Okay, now I'm going to figure out how I want these arms glued back on. I think I'm going to go this way, like that. So now I'm going to get the feet ready. But see, now I'm thinking I should have painted these first. So I'm going to paint these first. And then I'm going to get the feet ready. So I'm going to get my paints ready. I'm going to add a little bit of white to all of them just to lighten them up a little bit. You don't need a lot of paint. Mix it up and paint it. And I don't want it to be, I kind of want the wood to show a little bit. To take a little paintbrush just to go in here. Okay, it shouldn't take long for the glue to dry, so I am going to for the paint to dry, so I'm going to get my legs taken off so I can reuse them. So here are my legs, and this shouldn't, like I said, be that hard. There we go. I'm just going to sand the glitter off. I'm going to glue them right here like that. I'm going to maybe just touch up the little bit of white paint here. I just have to go grab a paintbrush. I think I should have maybe left this and curved it a little bit better with the cutters, but I think this is pretty good. This bow came from here. So this is it. I think he turned out so cute. You could put welcome or Easter right across if you have a stencil or hand write it, but I think I'm just gonna leave him like this. I might add some rope for hanging, or I might just pop him up against something. Today I'm bringing you two more Easter dollar store DIYs, and for the first project I'm using this Happy Easter truck sign that I picked up at Dollar Tree, and I'm removing the Happy Easter sign off, and I will also be using some of these craft scrapbooking papers. I just haven't decided exactly which ones I want to use, but as you can see I have an extremely large stack of floral spring type a cardstock here that I want to be using, and I will also use a sander and some tacky glue. So once I have removed the bottom off, I want to sand the whole piece. Well, primarily I want to sand off the shiny stuff, the sparkles off the wheels is what I want, because I will be covering everything else, but the wheels will be showing and I didn't want any sparkles on them. Once that was done, I wanted to trace all the little details of the trucks. Some of them, when you, I think the Christmas one, when I bought it, it was raised, so I could just trace it on the paper, kind of rub it on. But this one, it was flush. So I ended up tracing it with a black marker, and then using a paper, white paper. It was actually an old printer paper, like one of those ones that had holes in it that I ended up using for it because it was see-through enough. So friends, if this is your first time stopping by my channel, my name is Sonia and you are watching my DIY channel. I also have two other channels which will be linked down below if you would like to check them out, and make sure you check out my Instagram and blog, because I share tons of stuff there that you might not find on my YouTube channels. So once I was done tracing it onto the white paper, I cut it out, and then I also transferred the cutouts onto the cardstock that I wanted to use. Once I had it all cut out, I used tacky glue to glue the pieces on. I just love how Using the different spring floral paper gave this truck a bit of a different look, a new life almost. And I just love the way it all came together. I don't know about you guys, but I am absolutely obsessed with truck decor. I have used it for every season. I have made tons of different DIYs for Christmas, of course. Kind of started to get into it in fall, and then just exploded at Christmas. And I did do some stuff for Valentine's Day as well, and now I'm moving on to Easter. I also use it in my decor. If you want to see how I use a truck all kind of for since Christmas, and I have used it in winter decor and now in Valentine's Day, make sure you head on over to my home channel because I share that there. But I don't know what it is about these trucks. I just absolutely love them.
Can't get enough of this. Being with you is like never-ending sunshine. Feels like everything stops for a while when we look into each other's eyes. How could I ever let you go now when you're looking like that? Can't get enough of this. Being with you is a never-ending sunshine. You got your high heels on, and I'm wearing my worn-out jeans. What could go wrong? Sipping on a beer, sing along to our favorite songs. All I want is you. You make my world spin.
Once I glued most of the stuff on, I just took my craft knife and trimmed off anything that was kind of hanging over.
You. Can't get enough of this. Being with you is like never-ending sunshine. Feels like everything stops for a while when we look into each other's eyes. How could I ever let you go now when you're looking like that? Can't get enough of this. Being with you is a never-ending sunshine. A never-ending sunshine.
I wanted to create like a rim on top of the bed of the truck, but it was a little too small to be gluing stuff, so I decided to add a touch of chalk paint in that. It's almost like the duck egg blue from Annie Sloan, but it's a little bit different.
Maybe hold you in a little while. Somehow I know you're gonna be the girl that I end up calling on.
I also paint the tires because I wanted them to be completely black.
Feels like everything stops for a while when we look into each other's eyes. How could I ever let you go now when you're looking like that? Can't get enough of this. Being with you is a never-ending.
Once that was done, I moved on to working on the little bunny. I was covering the bunny completely, so that's why I did not sand the little spark glitter off. So I have a couple more steps left, and I make little bows out of just regular twine to put on top of the carrots. But before I do that, I wanted to sand the whole truck, just to rough up the edges of it, so it's looks like that paper was there forever. And I also add a little bit of brown paint, very dry brushed technique of the brown paint onto the edges, so it looks almost like it's antiqued. So here it is, and I absolutely love the way it turned out. For my next project, I picked up this bunny at Dollarama, and I will also be using some jute rope, some pom-poms, white and gray paint, and some paintbrushes and a sanding block. So the first thing, just like on the other one, I get rid of all of this glitter. I like glitter, but not so much in my decor. And this bunny sure had a ton of glitter on his body, his ears, his nose, pretty much everywhere. Once all the glitter was gone, I just traced the little top of the carrot onto this scrapbook paper. I just love how patterned and the green this scrapbook paper is, and I think it will look good on top of this carrot. And now comes the fun part. I am using a light gray color, and I will be layering paint. So I'm not looking for an extreme coverage because there are two other paints coming on top of it. I do not wait in between the paints to dry. But the first one I kind of applied up and down, but the next two the first one I applied in all sorts of direction, and then the next two I do follow an up and down pattern when I'm applying the paint. So once the light gray was on, I went with a bit of a darker gray and just dry brushed it on. It's not really a dry brush technique, I'm just not adding a ton of paint and kind of pulling the paint so it's mixing with the lighter gray. I do the same thing with the white brush, but I am using almost like a stippling brush for the white paint, and the white paint is white chalk paint. All of these paints I picked up at dollar store and more. I had a hard time finding gray paints. I've mentioned this in a couple of my other videos, but this dollar store had 3 different shades of it. So I picked up the other dollar stores at silver, but not gray. So here is the paint all mixed up, and I'm just adding more just to finish it off onto the edges. I love the way this the mixture of the layered paints turned out. I think it created a very rustic farmhouse bunny. So once the bunny was completely dried, I end up gluing on the large pom-pom for his little fluffy tail. So the bunny ends up looking as you're looking to the back of the bunny, not the front. Now I also add that carrot cutout. I did have to trim it a little bit just so it looks like it's peeking from behind him. And I also create a bow with that jute rope to add around his neck. So here he is. I think he turned out so cute, and I think it's gonna look great with my decor because it fits my style. I made some spring and some Easter DIYs, and my first one is a pillowcase, and I had printed these 2 different bunnies that I will be tracing, and then I have some different size pom-poms, some leftover burlap from a different project, and this pillowcase, a pillow sham that I had picked up at a thrift store. I got 2 of them for $3. So, and then I have some stuffing from an old pillow. So first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm going to cut these bunnies out so I can trace them on to burlap. using a black chalk marker to trace them out. For the smaller bunnies, I do two like this. I just flip it around so I have different pointing of the bent ear. And then for the third one, I just make both ears straight. So I want to get two pillows out of this shin, so I'll be cutting it right where the opening is, and I will be stuffing both sides and using a hot glue gun to close it up, which you will see. I also have a full tutorial on how to make pillowcases with glue gun, because I cannot sew, so I use glue gun to make my pillowcases. And if you want to check out how I make these pillowcases, I will link the video up in the eye in the sky. So as you saw, I hot glued the burlap bunny, and I attached the big pom-pom for its tail, and then I stuffed the pillow and hot glued it shut. Here they both are. I think they turned out so cute. I used the smaller pom-poms for the smaller bunnies, and here is the large one. I think it's just such a nice rustic addition to my Easter decor. Well, I hope you have enjoyed these 10 Easter DIYs. If you did, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you're not. Let me know down in the comments which one was your favorite. And I want to thank you all for stopping by and watching. Until next time, hope you guys have a wonderful day.